We're going to start this section by creating a form to add a new product to our database. So here in the terminal, I'm going to create a new component called product form. So ng gc, we want to put this in the admin folder. So admin/product-form. Okay. Now I want to add a link on the admin product page that would take the user to this product form. So let's go to products, that is admin-product.component.html. I'm going to delete all the markup here and add an anchor with two classes, btn and btn-primary. We want to make it look like a button. Okay, and now instead of href, we're going to use router link and send the user to /admin/products/new. And let's call this new product. Now we need to register this new route in our app module. So let's go to app.module. Here's the route for the products page. I'm going to duplicate this and change the route to products/new and the component to product form component. And we want to keep these auth guards because we want to make sure that only admins can access this page. So before going any further, let's test the application up to this point. So here I'm going to go to manage products. We have this new button, new product, and this takes us to the product form page. Now all we have to do is to replace this with a Bootstrap form. Very simple. So let's go to product form.html. I'm going to delete all the markup here and add a form. We don't need the action attribute. In this form, we're going to have 4 input fields: product title, price, category, and image URL. For now, we want to make the application simple. We just want to copy paste an image URL here. Potentially in the future, we can change that to a file upload. Changing that input field is not going to make an impact on the overall architecture of our application. So this is the approach that I take when building applications in the real world. So first, I focus on building the foundation, and then in each iteration, I improve this foundation with new features. So let's add our input fields here. We want to wrap each input field with a div with the class form-group, exactly like before. Inside this div, we're going to have a label, and next to that, we're going to have an input with the class form-control. So this is our markup. Now I want to give this input field an ID. Let's call this title, and I use the same value for the for attribute of the label. And this way we'll improve accessibility. So when the user clicks on the label, the input field will immediately get focus. Now the label should be title. So here's our first input field. Now let's add another one. I'm going to change this title to price. And of course, let's make this uppercase. Now I want to change the type of this input field to number because I want to enforce the user to enter only a number here. Now one more time, I'm going to duplicate this. I'm going to change price to category. In case you're wondering how I'm doing multi-cursor editing, so I put the cursor here and press Command and D on Mac or Control D on Windows. You can see this is selected. Now while I'm holding Command, I press D one more time. Now you can see the second category is selected. I'm still holding the command, so I press D one more time, and now the third category is selected. Now I can change them all in one go. Something new, or delete them. Category, okay? And finally, escape. Now this category should be a drop-down list. So I'm going to change input to select. We don't need the type attribute here. Let's add the closing tag. And for now, let's just add an empty option. We'll come back to this and populate this drop-down list with data in our database. And finally, the last field. I want to copy this first form group because our image URL is very similar to this one. All right, one more time. I'm going to do multi-cursor editing. So Command and D, again, and change this to image URL. And I'm going to modify the label here, image URL. Now, finally, I'm going to add a button with two classes, btn and btn-primary, and we call this save. Now, let's preview this in the browser. So, manage products, new product. This is our beautiful Bootstrap form. Now, before we finish this lecture, I want to add an add-on to this price input field. I want to prefix it with a $sign. Let me show you how that works. So if you head over to getbootstrap.com, under documentation, scroll down on the left side, go to components, and then select input group. So this is the add-on I'm talking about. Well, this one is exactly what I'm looking for. I want to put this $sign before our input field. Now the markup for that is very simple. All we have to do is to wrap our input field with a div with the class input-group. Inside this div, we're going to have a span with this class input group add-on. And here we add the $sign. And after that, you can see we have our normal input field with the class form control. So back in the code, here's our price input field. I'm going to wrap this with a div with the class input-group. And inside this div, we're going to have a span with the class input-group-add-on. Let's reformat the code. So here's our span. Now I'm going to put our input field right next to that, like this. And finally, let's put the $sign in this span. And one last look in the browser. So this is the final result. I just noticed I forgot to modify this category. So let's make this C uppercase. That's better. In the next lecture, we're going to populate our category dropdown list.